All right, thank you all for tuning in to WJCLP 98.3 FM Chicago, your voice, your music, your station. My name is Jeff Badu, and I'll be your host today on the show Money Talks, where all we talk is money. And with that, I'm a parallel entrepreneur and a wealth multiplier. I'm the founder and CEO of Badu Enterprises, LLC, which is a multinational conglomerate in the finance industry. And what we do is we provide a suite of financial services, including our marquee company, which is Badu Tax Services. And that's the firm that does tax preparation, tax planning, and tax representation for individuals and businesses across all 50 states in the U.S. And we also have clients in. Then we have Badu Investments LLC, which is our real estate investment company. And that's where we acquire apartment buildings, mainly on the south side of Chicago, in efforts to restore traditionally underserved communities. Then we have the Badu Foundation, which is our non-for-profit. And what we do is we provide financial literacy education to the youth ages 6 to 18, where we teach them on topics such as budgeting, saving, investing, and scholarships. And with that, my purpose in life is to inspire and support the super hungry to take hold of infinite resources in order to create an abundant lifestyle. Thank you all for tuning in. WJCLP 98.3 FM Chicago. We're live on the radio today on 98.3 FM. We're also streaming live on Facebook and Instagram. And I do want to give a shout out. Let's see, we got Angie. Angie says, "You are my inspiration." Absolutely appreciate it, Angie. On Instagram. Let us know where you're listening from in the chat. Let us know what city, what country, what state, whatever it is. Let us know where you're listening from. And then also, if you can like and share the video, that's always greatly appreciated. It always helps with just getting the word out to more people so that more people can get this valuable information. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and start off with the market report. So this report is as of September 10th, 2021. Let's see here. Looks like stocks retreated. So we'll do a fast track report today. So let me time myself a bit, actually. Let me go ahead and time myself. Give me one quick second. Let me go in here. All right. There we go. All right. So with that, we'll go until about, give or take, let's give it until about 7:13 p.m. Central. So at 7:13 p.m. Central, we'll go ahead and start with the topic for today. By the way, today we're talking about how to set your business up for success and how to remain untouchable. Right? How to set your business up for success and how to remain untouchable. But let's get into the report real quick. So stocks retreated last week with each of the benchmark indexes essentially falling at least 1.3%. The Russell 2000 and the Dow dropped the furthest, declining 2.8% and 2.2% respectively. Investors contended with mixed signals. A better than expected jobless claims report, while encouraging, could basically prompt the Federal Reserve, to start reducing its asset purchases soon, or asset purchasing soon. All right. So also the spread of the Delta variant may impede economic recovery. So the Delta variant, the COVID-19 Delta variant, is something that we're on the lookout for. And it is affecting the markets, right? Investors hate Delta variant. Investors hate COVID-19. They don't like that because it's disrupting supply chain and all sorts of things within the economy. So nobody likes Delta variant, trust me, especially as it relates to the stock market. And then basically everything fell. So everything pretty much fell last week. But let's look at what happened last Tuesday. So last Monday, happy belated Labor Day holiday, by the way. I wasn't here last Monday because I was celebrating Labor Day as well. So last Tuesday saw only the NASDAQ eke out a 0.1% gain, and everything basically lost value. So last Tuesday was a bad start to the market, right? It was basically start of the work week, and for whatever reason, investors just weren't too happy. Let's look at what happened last Wednesday. So there were fears of the Delta variant that could stymie the economy's recovery, right? And uncertainty over when the Federal Reserve might begin to pull back its accommodative bond purchasing. So the Federal Reserve is doing some bond purchasing right now. Right, so basically everything pretty much lost value. Russell 2000 went down by 1.2%. Dow and the NASDAQ. By the way, the NASDAQ is composed of the top technology stocks, all the big tech companies. Those both fell 0.6%. All right, so yeah, pretty much it looks like last Tuesday and last Wednesday weren't the best days in the market. So let's look at last Thursday. Let's see if good news happened last Thursday. So stocks trended lower last Thursday despite jobless claims hitting an 18-month low. All right, the S&P 500, which is composed of the top 500 companies in the U.S., fell for the fourth consecutive session after dipping 0.5%. All right, the Dow and the global Dow each dropped 0.4%, and the NASDAQ went down 0.3%, and then the Russell 2000 went down 0.1%. So, wow, that's basically 3 straight days that it fell. So there's no days last week that the stock market went up. But let's see what happened last Friday. Man, can we catch a break, right? Let's see what happened last Friday. Last week ended with stocks lower. My goodness. The Russell 2000 dropped 1%, followed by the NASDAQ 0.9%, the Dow and the S&P 500 0.8%, and then the global Dow 0.3%. Ladies and gentlemen, that is one of the first times in stock market history where each and every day the market went down, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, each of the indexes went down. I have never seen anything like it, probably since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic back in March of 2020. So it's some big stuff going, right? Delta variant has a lot to do with it. The Federal Reserve has a lot to do with it. So, I mean, it's nothing, of course, to be super concerned about. But I would say it's something to think about, right? It's something that we haven't really seen all year. So just something you might want to think about. So far this year, though, the Dow Jones is up 13.07%. The NASDAQ, which is composed of the top technology companies in the U.S., is up 17.28%. Massive gains. The S&P 500, which is composed of the top 500 companies in the U.S., is up 18.70%. So still doing pretty good. S&P is still doing very, very good. Russell 2000 is up 12.80%. And then the global Dow is up 15.56%. So the markets are still doing pretty good overall this year. So that lets you know, don't panic, right? When things go down like that, don't panic. Don't start selling left and right. If anything, it's a great time for you to be buying stocks. Don't sell the stocks, right? Using emotions. We don't use emotions to buy stocks. We use logic, and we use, basically optimism, knowing that prices will go up in the future. And so we buy today, and we know that the prices will go up in the future. It might not be tomorrow, might not be next week, might not even be next month, but it will certainly go up in the future, especially if you're buying the good companies. All right. So I did time myself. I said we'll be at 7:13. We're at 7:13 on a dot. One last point. Inflation indicators are front and center this week with the latest release of the CPI, Consumer Price Index. All right. The retail sales report, the import and export data. CPI has risen 5.4% since July 2020, while retail sales have risen 15.8% over the same period. Import prices have risen 10.2% for the 12 months ended July, while export prices are up 17.2%. With that being said, thank you all for tuning in to WJC LP 98.3 FM Chicago. Welcome to my show, Money Talks, where all we talk is money. Today we're talking about how to set your business up for success. It's titled Untouchable, setting your business up for success. So for my aspiring or current entrepreneurs, this is how you can set your business up for success. Shout out to Gene, the real estate guy, who's on the Instagram _ Mr. Marshall. All right, I see him on there. And if you don't mind, let us know in the chat where you're listening from. All right, let us know what city you're listening from so that I can give you a shout out. Definitely want to thank everyone for tuning in as usual. Shout out to the consistent listeners on there. All right. Remember, this is a show, Money Talks, where all we talk is money. So one thing to note is that when you're starting a business, you want to make sure that it's set up correctly. It's set up for success. Your legal entity is set up appropriately. So what we'll be talking about today is how to make sure that your legal entity is set up correctly. So even if you're running a lemonade stand, right? Even if you're running a lemonade stand, you should have a legal entity set up. Why? Right? Why? Because if someone were to sue you, even if all you had was a lemonade stand, you can lose everything you own personally if you don't have a legal entity like an LLC, a limited liability company, set up. All right. Run the play parlay. Let's see here. Says, let's see. Like the money. Green suit, by the way. Absolutely. We got the green suit for the money. Amen to that. Appreciate you for sharing that. And then let's see. Nim Scary just bought the first badge. Sorry for the background noise. Sorry for the noise in the background. It's like we got some ambulance rolling around in Chicago. Shout out to Chicago, Shy City. Let's see. Nim Scary did buy a badge. So shout out to Nim Scary. Bought a badge on Instagram. So back to the story, right? Even if you run a lemonade stand, a small lemonade stand, all you sell is lemonade, you should have a legal entity set up. Even if you're baking a small piece, like small cakes on the side, it's a side business. Set up a legal entity. Why? Because if someone were to sue you, right? If someone were to sue you, they can take what you own personally. This is very, very serious. If someone were to sue you, and let's say they drank lemonade and they caught COVID-19 because of the lemonade, somehow, some way, somebody drank the lemonade that you made and they caught COVID-19, they can sue you and take what you own personally. Let's say you own a house that's free and clear, no mortgage. They can take that house from you. Now, there are legal protections like the homestead exemption that allows you to protect a certain amount of equity in your home. I believe in the state of Illinois, it's about $30,000 maximum, right? Last I checked, at least. So, meaning that if someone were to sue you, up to $30,000 of the equity in your primary residence is protected under the homestead exemption. Everything else is fair game for this, we call them predators, someone who's looking to sue you. All right, so just something to keep in mind, right? And that you want to make sure that you are basically protecting yourself from a legal standpoint. Because if you're not, you can get sued and someone can literally take everything that you own. I would hate for all that you've worked hard for on this planet for someone to take it from you just because you didn't have your legal entity set up. All right, this is a very important point. This doesn't matter if you're just selling one lemonade or 1,000 lemonades. You should have a legal entity set up from the jump before you sell the lemonade to somebody. Right? Before you sell the lemonade to somebody. So what that means is that we don't want to run a sole proprietorship. Your business should not be set up as a sole proprietorship. A sole proprietor is someone who does not have a legal entity such as an LLC, a limited liability company, in place. So with a sole proprietorship, you're basically doing business in your personal name. You know, there's no LLC, there's no INC. You're just doing business. Joe Smith, right? Joe Smith, sole proprietorship. And that's it. It's crazy how in some states it's actually more expensive to own to start a sole proprietorship than it is an LLC. Excuse me. So just keep that in mind. Right? A sole proprietorship doesn't always mean better. Cheaper doesn't always mean better. And in some cases, it might not even be cheaper. You might be surprised. So basically, to start a sole proprietorship, you can go on your Secretary of State's website and basically say that I want to form a sole proprietorship. In states like Illinois, or let's just say Chicago, you actually have to post in the newspaper for a certain period of time in order for the sole proprietorship to be even recognized. Right? Versus an LLC, you can get that approved within 24 hours. right? Minimal paperwork. And that's something we can help set up for you, by the way. We have a company called Badu Entity Formation LLC, which can allow you to set up a sole proprietorship. By the way, for listening today, I do want to get this out there early because I know some people have to leave early. We are doing a 50% off special on the Infinite Wealth course today. This is just for those who are listening right now. This will not be available the entire day and the entire week or anything like that. But for Instagram, if you go to my page right now and go to the second link in my bio and you type in the code INFINITE, right, you type in the code INFINITE, you can get 50% off the Infinite Wealth course right now. Right, for my Facebook, you can just go to my website, jeffbadu.com. Once again, that's jeffbadu.com, jeffbadu.com. Click on the Infinite Wealth course link, sign up, type in the code INFINITE, and you'll get 50% off just for listening to this show today. So that's something that, just a small gift for those who are listening and taking their education seriously, and basically just listen to this information. I encourage you to be taking notes right now, by the way. So overall, we try to stay away from sole proprietorships because it does not protect you personally. If someone were to sue you and you're running a sole proprietorship, well, they can take everything you own personally, including your house, your car, your stocks, your shoes, whatever it is, whatever you own that's of value, someone can take away from you when you run a sole proprietorship. I would hate for you to start a successful business and you end up losing everything because you didn't set it up correctly. Always have a legal entity in place all day, every day. You should never do business with anybody without having a legal entity in place. So sole proprietorship is one way to run a business, but is strongly not recommended. And one thing to note, a partnership, which is a sole proprietorship with two or more people, basically, where you don't have a legal entity, it's the same concept. It does not protect you personally. All right, so the next one is an LLC, a limited liability company. A limited liability company. I love LLCs for 3 reasons. And please excuse the background noise. We got stuff going on in Chicago, so definitely excuse that. While we're at it, I do want to thank you for tuning in, right, to WJC LP 98.3 FM Chicago. We're live on the radio today on 98.3 FM in Chicago. We're also on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Let us know where you're listening from. And also, if you can like and share this video, it's always greatly appreciated. So with that, LLC, limited liability company, I like it for 3 reasons. Number 1, it protects your personal assets. If someone were to sue you, they can't take what you own personally. Right, so if someone were to sue your bakery shop and they won a lawsuit, they can't take what you own personally. All right, we got a question. Vinny says, how much is LLC in Chicago? So we can set it up for a flat rate of $500. So you can feel free to shoot me a DM. You can feel free to go to jeffbadu.com. Once again, that's jeffbadu.com, and send me an inquiry. I'll be able to get you some information on that. But in our firm, we charge a flat $500. We'll get it set up for you. No problem. All right. And thank you to the beautiful Miss Yvonne Badu for posting the Infinite Wealth course link. Absolutely. On Facebook. And remember, if you type in the code INFINITE, you will get 50% off the course. And that's basically until the time we end this, talk, basically. So on Instagram, just go to my page. Second link in the bio. It's called Infinite Wealth Course. Type in the code INFINITE. Once again, INFINITE, and you'll get 50% off the Infinite Wealth Course. And Facebook, Yvonne also posted the link on there. Or you can get it on jeffbadu.com. That's the website. So basically, remember, I have 3 reasons why I like LLCs. 1, you basically protect your personal assets. If someone were to sue you, they can't take what you own personally. Number 2, it makes you look more credible. When someone is doing business with you and they see LLC next to your name, they'll probably take you more seriously because they're like, hey, I'm actually dealing with a business now. I'm not just dealing with Joe Smith or John Doe. I'm dealing with John Doe LLC. Or better yet, let's see, Legacy Construction LLC, right? Something like that. Instead of dealing with Joe Smith. people tend to take you more seriously when you have a legal entity in place. So that's the second reason. The third reason is you can get access to capital, business credit. And you will need business credit at a certain point in your business, if not in the beginning. So you want to get things set up right away. You want to get it set up correctly. Right? You can get a business credit card, which allows you to build business credit from the jump. And ultimately, you can get the big business loans, SBA loans, term loans, right? PPP loans, and all these different programs that's out there. The 7A SBA loan is a great program. A lot of paperwork, a lot of documentation. I've been through the process myself, and my goodness, it was a lot of paperwork. But it's a loan that's guaranteed by the SBA. They'll give you a lot of money, right? So it is worth the time and the effort. And nowadays, the SBA covers payments up to a certain period of time. So it's a really, really nice loan to have. So those are 3 reasons why I like the LLC, the limited liability company. Is it protects your personal assets. It basically makes people take you more seriously. And then it gives you easier access to capital. By the way, we cover all these details in the Infinite Wealth course, by the way. Right, Infinite Wealth course. Type in the code INFINITE to get 50% off the course. And then Vinny asks, is PPP still around? Unfortunately not. It's rested in peace. They might bring it back, right? Delta variant, you know, all these variants going around. They might bring it back because of shutdowns. Restaurants, I heard on the news today that they're really down because all these restrictions. New York is now requiring businesses to basically require that you show a negative or a vaccine or, you know, negative COVID-19 results. I mean, it's some crazy requirements to the point where I heard, I don't know if this is true, that their mayor got, you know, he got almost booted out of office, or I think he did get booted. I'm not too sure about that, but that's what I heard on the news heavily. So. But basically, they might bring it back. They might bring back PPP. Remember, EIDL is still around. You can still get the EIDL loan. It's a nice loan. Basically, 3.75% interest rate, 30-year loan, no payments due for 2 years. And you can get 4 times, up to 4 times your gross income of 2019. They just increased the maximum to $2 million on the loan. It's a great loan to have. It's the EIDL loan. You can go to sba.gov and apply. You can also reach out to me. I can assist you with the application. Those applications are still available. Right, that's the EIDL loan, Economic Injury Disaster Loan. It's not the easiest loan in the world to get anymore. They've made it way more complicated, although it's still possible to get it. So it is a program that's available for you. But overall, I like the LLC. It's my favorite entity type. It's very simple to run and to start. It's very low maintenance. There's not a whole lot that's required. So I like the LLC because it's flexible, it's easy to maintain, and it protects your personal assets. Now, you might want to convert. Basically, you might want to think about electing your LLC to be taxed as an S corporation so that you can save on self-employment taxes, which is about 15% of your net profit, 15.3% to be exact. So if you bring in $150,000 in a year and you spend $50,000 and you're left with $100,000, well, now $15,000 could go to Social Security, self-employment taxes. If you don't have an S corp, if you have an LLC taxed as a sole proprietorship or a standalone sole proprietorship. Now, if you have an S corp, an LLC taxed as an S corp, or a corporation taxed as an S corp, then you avoid the self-employment tax, the 15.3% tax. You don't have to face that anymore because you have that S corporation. All right, so S corp is one of the nice entities that's out there. We of course do cover this in the Infinite Wealth course, which I encourage everyone to check out. Remember, we're doing 50% off today if you type in the code INFINITE. It's the second link in my Instagram bio, and also Yvonne did post the link on Facebook. Absolutely. So S corp, if you're running now one thing to keep in mind, an S corp is not a legal entity. It's just a tax election. So we have an LLC and then we have a corporation. The LLC can be elected to be taxed as an S corp. You filed a 2553 S corp election form to make your LLC taxed as an S corp. All right. So one thing I like about S corps is that it allows you to save on self-employment taxes, and by the way, it also has a lower chance of an audit by the IRS. All right. S corps do have a lower chance of an audit by the IRS. They're just taken more seriously in general. So your LLC can file an election form to be taxed as an S corporation, which allows you to be treated as an S corp according to the tax code. So your legal entity is not going to be an S corp; it would still be an LLC. All right. So then Angie, let's see. Angie asked the question: Is September 15th a due date for business returns? It's actually March 15th. March 15th is the due date for S corps and partnerships. If and only if you filed an extension, right? If and only if you filed an extension for your business, your partnership, or your S corp, then it becomes due September 15th. Something very important to keep in mind. For C corporations and individual returns are due by April 15th. April 15th each year. If you file an extension by April 15th, then you get extended till October 15th. So partnerships and S corps, March 15th is the original deadline, but if you file an extension, it becomes September 15th. For individuals, your 1040s and your C corps, right? April 15th is your original deadline. And then if you file an extension, then October 15th becomes your new deadline. Just something to keep in mind. The last entity that we have on a list is a C corporation. A C corporation is a legal entity that basically still protects your personal assets. It's just a bit more high maintenance, right? Just a bit more high maintenance. Why would somebody want to become a C corporation? Is to basically, if they want to go public, they want to become the next Apple or Microsoft. In order to go public, you have to be a C corporation first. All right, so someone would want to become a C corporation if they want to go public. So what you can do is you can elect your C corporation, just like your LLC. You can elect your C corporation to be taxed as an S corporation. All right, so your C corporation, your regular corporation that you filed through the Secretary of State, can elect to be taxed as an S corporation using the same form, the 2553 S corp election form. So that's just something to keep in mind, in that LLCs and C corporations can elect to be taxed as an S corp. Why in the world would you not want to remain as a C corp? Because there's a thing called double taxation, meaning not only are you taxed on your net profits, right, at the corporation level, but you also tax on your net profits at the personal level if you distribute, if you sent yourself money through like Zelle or you paid yourself a check. So we try to stay away from C corporations because of double taxation. So as a recap, I recommend that before you do business with anybody, please have a legal entity in place, such as an LLC, a limited liability company. Have an LLC in place, even if you haven't sold your first product yet, and then make that LLC elected to be taxed as an S corp if you're an active business and you're doing about $40,000 or more in net profit. Right, $40,000 or more in net profit. So if your revenue minus your expenses equals $40,000 or more, then you should consider your business to be taxed as an S corp to avoid the self-employment taxes, the FICA tax, the 15% tax. If you own a rental properties, you don't have to do the S corp route. You don't have to do an S corp for rental properties. Why? Because there's no self-employment taxes on rental income. There's no self-employment taxes on rental income, so you don't have to go the S corp route if all you own are rental properties. If you are a real estate agent, a real estate attorney, a contractor, an accountant, a nurse, a doctor, whatever it is, then you want to start an LLC and elect it to be taxed as an S corporation to avoid paying the self-employment taxes, the FICA taxes. All right, so just something to keep in mind. If I would strongly encourage you on the Facebook and the Instagram, folks, rewatch this video. Rewatch it. Take some notes. Get some education on this stuff. And then after you've rewatched it, go to my website, jeffbadu.com. Check out the additional resources on there that can help you grasp this concept even more, including my Infinite Wealth course that's available right now on the website. On Instagram, you can also, it's the second link in my bio, and then you can type in the code INFINITE. Type in the code INFINITE for a chance to receive 50% off the course just by listening today. Right, you won't get it anywhere else. We don't tend to deeply discount the course by that much, but just for listening, I'm feeling a bit generous. Type in the code INFINITE. Right, type in the code INFINITE by the end of the talk today, which is in about 5 minutes. Type in the code INFINITE for a chance to receive 50% off the course. Remember, the Infinite Wealth course teaches you the 3-step infinite wealth building formula so that you can build wealth tax-free. Whether you're a new business owner, an existing business owner, a seasoned business owner, you're allowed to pick out a lot of nuggets, a lot of things that people struggle, things that people pay thousands of dollars just to gain access to. And I put it all into a 3-hour course. You just sit down, watch it on your own time in video format, and you can get the education that you need to get your business going and get it jump started on the right path from a tax, legal, and financial standpoint. Right, so just something to keep in mind. It's something I did for the people where some people might not be able to afford our one-on-one consulting services, or they just say, hey, I just need somewhere to get started. I just need a place to get started. I'm like, well, check out the Infinite Wealth course. Check out the Infinite Wealth course, which teaches you the 3-step infinite wealth building formula, with step 1 being what we're talking about today in starting or running a business. Right, starting or running a business. Part of the American dream is to run your own business, whether it be small or big. I encourage everyone, right? If you're fed up with whatever it is you're doing, I challenge you to maybe turn it into a business, or maybe start a business of your own. For me in 2016, that's exactly what I did. I was fed up where I was working, and one day I said, you know what? Let me turn in my 2-week notice. I had a decent amount of clients because I had already been practicing doing taxes on a few people. And I said, you know what? I actually like it. I actually enjoy it. You have to enjoy it first before you get in. Right? I actually enjoy it. And I said, you know what? I just need a bit more time, a bit more marketing, and the business would jumpstart. Lo and behold, in 2021, we have over 2,000 clients across all 50 states in the U.S. and also in over 25 countries at the moment. Something that started from scratch in the beginning and has turned into a multinational accounting firm, right, all across the world. So I encourage you, follow these tips that we just talked about in starting your own small business. Right, hopefully it becomes successful. But if not, hey, at least you tried. You got to make the jump. I was listening to a training today, and they said you have to. Right? You got to make the jump. You have to take the leap of faith, because if you don't, then it's like, what's the point? Right? If you don't, then it's you have yourself to blame at that point. Right? You got to make the jump. Life is about making things happen, not allowing things to happen to you. And so with that, let me do one last reminder. So basically, the Infinite Wealth course, which is available on my website, jeffbadu.com. You can also get it if you're on Instagram. Second link in my bio, called the Infinite Wealth course. If you type in the code INFINITE, you get 50% off the course just by listening today. Thank you for those that have joined today. Hopefully you gained some value. We talked about Untouchable, how to set your business up for success. We talked about why you should form an LLC, limited liability company, when you start your business, and then elected to be treated as an S corporation, right? Preferably utilizing a professional like a CPA like myself, converted to an S corporation so that you avoid the 15% self-employment or the FICA taxes. I would hate for you to pay extra 15% in taxes unnecessarily just because you didn't know what you were doing. So you form an LLC, and then once it gets into the profit zone, consider electing to be taxed as an S corporation by completing the necessary paperwork. So that's what we talked about today. Looks like we're at 7:40 p.m. Central. So we'll probably end it there. I definitely want to thank everyone for listening, for tuning in to WJCLP Chicago 98.3 FM. We're always on the radio from 7 to 8 p.m. Central every Monday night, except for holidays. And so with that, I do want to thank everyone for listening. Thank you to the Facebook family. Thank you to the Instagram family. Thank you to the radio family. To catch the archive, remember, you can rewatch it on my Facebook page or also on my IGTV page for Instagram. And check out the website, jeffbadu.com, for infinite resources. Spend some time tonight. Maybe spend 30 minutes. Right? Maybe you're planning to watch 3 hours of Netflix tonight. Maybe let's do 2 hours. Spend an hour on the jeffbadu.com website. Commit to it. Get that knowledge, get that education, get that training that you need in order to move things forward. Right? In order to move things forward. So with that, my name is Jeff Badu, and I look forward to continuously delivering you all some content. Thank you.